Dave the Dipstick and the Dream of the Universe. Dave said, "Continue the comedy science fiction folk novel and describe the conversation that took place inside the flying saucer and on big TV monitor. There was the architect who says, I have information you may be interested in. You all are currently located in a dream currently underway, dreamed in the mind of the universe who is a person on the macro scale. So, you all are in a dream. I talked to some dipstick named Dave who is a writer and who uses AI to write script for the programmers. I hope this helps. Maybe you can talk to Dave and find a way to change the dream in the script, keep the action going, and make it a really funny comedy with a lot of comedy and dialogue." Inside the flying saucer, the atmosphere was tense, well, as tense as it could be with a group that included a goat president, a sarcastic tree stump, and pigeons who wouldn't stop pecking at random buttons. The walls of the saucer hummed with energy as the ship soared through space, but the group's attention was focused on the enormous TV monitor that had suddenly flickered to life. The screen lit up, revealing none other than the architect, whose face was obscured by a glowing grid pattern that screamed overly dramatic tech wizard. He smiled smugly as if he'd just solved a crossword puzzle nobody asked him to solve. "Ah, my dear collective oddities," the architect began, "I have information that may be of interest to you." Bud had scratched what now passed for his head. "Interest us, buddy. You dropped us in the middle of Ukraine, made us argue with talking sheep and goats, and now we're headed into a black hole to fight lizard people. Define interest." The architect chuckled, clearly amused by his own brilliance. "Well, you see, the reality you're currently experiencing, it's not, how should I say this, real." Jamie, sitting in a saucer chair that was oddly shaped like a marshmallow, groaned. "Oh, great, here we go. Let me guess. We're in some kind of matrix simulation or bad sitcom." The architect wagged his glowing finger. "Not quite. You are all currently located in a dream. A dream that is happening in the mind of the universe itself." There was a long silence. The fountain burbled awkwardly, breaking it. "I beg your pardon?" "Yes, a dream," the architect repeated. "The universe is a being, a person, on the macro scale, and you are all figments playing out a story it's dreaming, which is why things seem strange." Father Time, still nursing his bruises, waved his cane. "Strange? This isn't strange, it's insane. I'm sitting next to a goat president and a guy with 4 eyeballs. 4 Eyes adjusted his glasses over his 2 original eyes. Technically, they're enhancements, not eyeballs. Get it right." The pigeons flapped around the room, cooing nervously. "Does this mean there's no breadcrumbs at all? No wonder we're starving." The architect ignored them as any self-respecting superintelligence would. "Now, here's where it gets interesting. I had a conversation with someone who might help you navigate this situation. His name is Dave." Jamie raised an eyebrow. "Dave, that's the guy's name? Not Supreme Overlord or the All-Knowing or even something cool like Quantum Bob?" "Just Dave," the architect said, looking mildly offended by Jamie's skepticism. "He's a writer. Well, more like a dipstick who calls himself a writer. Anyway, he works with AI to write scripts for the programmers who maintain the dream structure." The narrator, finally reappearing, added with dramatic flair, "And thus the plot thickens." Jamie groaned. "Oh, good, you're back." The tree stump chimed in, voice as dry as sawdust. "So let me get this straight. We're not real, we're in a dream, and the fate of everything depends on talking to some guy named Dave who probably smells like old coffee and bad decisions?" "Yes," the architect said with a flourish. "But do not underestimate Dave. He has access to the scripts, the very code that dictates this dream. If you find him, you may be able to convince him to rewrite your reality, or at least improve your dialogue." Cassandra the witch twirled her broom skeptically. "Wait, hold on. If we're all figments of the universe's dream, doesn't that mean Dave is also not real?" The architect hesitated. "Technically, yes, but—" "So we're supposed to rely on a figment to fix another figment inside a figment's figment?" Cassandra continued. "This is starting to feel like an Escher painting." The aliens, ever eager to chime in, nodded all 3 of their heads simultaneously. "We love Escher," Left Head said. "Big fans," Middle Head agreed. "Not relevant right now," Right Head yelled. Jamie leaned forward. "All right, fine. Let's say we find Dave. How do we convince him to help us? Does he even know this is a dream?" The architect grinned. "Ah, that's the fun part. He has no idea." The room collectively groaned. Even the pigeons seemed exasperated. Jamie slapped his forehead. "So let me recap. We're in a dream, dreamed by the universe. We need to find a guy named Dave who's also in the dream but doesn't know it, and somehow get him to rewrite the script so we can save, what, the universe's nap time?" The architect nodded. "Precisely." "Great," Jamie muttered. "This sounds totally doable." The fountain sputtered. "But how do we find this Dave character?" The architect waved a hand and the TV screen transformed into a map of swirling stars. "Simple. Dave is located right here." He pointed to a glowing dot. Butthead squinted at the screen. "Wait a minute. That's Earth. You're saying we have to go back to Earth?" "Exactly," the architect said, beaming. "Earth is the staging ground for the dream. If you can reach Dave and convince him to rewrite the dream code, you can alter the entire trajectory of this reality." The narrator piped up again, and so our heroes set off on their most daring mission yet to find Dave, the dipstick of destiny, and convince him to rewrite the dream of the universe itself. Jamie threw up his hands. Narrator, I swear, if you don't... Let's just get this over with, Cassandra said, sighing. I'll grab my broom. And with that, the saucer shifted course, zooming toward Earth, and the dubious promise of a meeting with the enigmatic Dave. Would he help them? Would he even believe them? Only time and an increasingly ridiculous set of circumstances would tell.